All right, tubers, Matt and Roy back once again on, what the heck is this, Wednesday, the 31st of January, 2017. And probably ask yourself, Matt, what is with the title of this, the I Gotta Be Me live stream? Well, I'm glad you asked that. The I Gotta Be Me live stream is something new that I'm doing. I have been told in the past that I tend to take life a bit too seriously. And there are other times that I take it much less seriously. The latter, I do much less often, if that makes any sense. So, we're going to do strike that and reverse it. So, in this live stream, we're going to again talk about anything and everything. Hopefully, a lot of you guys can join me here. I'm going to answer some questions. Going to talk about what is on my mind, and everything is on my mind. Man, I should have got another cup of coffee. I still can't talk today. Well, we'll fix that in a minute. I'll start raring up here in just a second. Nobody's here yet, so nobody's actually seeing this yet. I know, right, guys? I'm kind of happy tonight. I've had a great day so far. Dad and I went out. We got stuff to make the Brunswick stew. That was absolutely awesome. I love cooking. You guys know I love cooking. I love showing you guys how to cook. I love getting your ideas on things that I should be cooking in the future. Pretty much anything cooking related at this point. And I'm really surprised we don't have any watchers yet. I'm guessing a lot of you guys are probably still at work. Though I have to figure out what time it is in the other countries. I need to get, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another cell phone or something. Maybe a tablet, something to hook up to the internet, and then I can do some research while we're actually doing these live streams. I went to Dollar Tree and picked up a few items here. Oh, we got one person. Yay. Oh, we'll hold off on those Dollar Tree finds for just a moment there. Oh, and we lost them. Man, this might have been a good time to do a live stream. Well, we'll give it a few more minutes. Hopefully we pick up a few more people. Got one person here. I need to try to adjust it. I'm putting way too much tension on my charging cable. Just so you guys know, doing a live stream on my cell phone takes so much battery power that the only option I have is to keep it plugged in, and the only charger I have is that one that has the coil in the cord. I keep having to stretch that out every time I use it. We're up to 2 people. Awesome. We'll give it a few more minutes, see how many people come here. And before you ask, yes, I am actually, I told a little bit of a fib. I'm actually in front of the thrift store. I put that I was in front of Dollar Tree, but the YouTube live stream app gives you an option right before you start it to where you can tap your location, but it sees locations automatically, and for whatever reason, it thought I was in front of Dollar Tree. It's close enough, right? So, I'll go ahead and show you guys a couple of the items that I got there. One of these things is this non-abrasive bathroom cleaner. Looked really cool. Looks like a rip-off of the Scrubbing Bubbles. As a matter of fact, you can see the little bubbles, minus the actual animated characters there. So we'll have to see how that works. One day I'd like to do some product reviews of the 2 different types of cleaning products. They have the Home Store, and they also have the LA's or the Awesome brand cleaners, and they're both pretty good. I have to say I lean more towards the Awesome cleaners just because they're more established. They're actually made in the United States, whereas I'm not exactly sure where the Home Store brand is made, but seems to be okay. And on the note of the Brunswick stew, well, when we went to Walmart, we picked up, we did a double batch. It requires 2 cups of chicken broth, so we had to have 4 cups. We actually wound up buying a 5-cup packet. Well, guess what? We had to add another cup with something we had at home, and it's still not enough. If you guys ever make that Brunswick stew, and you can look back at the video, I did post that up. Really, you're going to need about double the amount of chicken broth that it recommends. So when I went to Dollar Tree, I picked up some of the kitchen-ready chicken broth here. You guys can get a close-up on that one. This is actually a pretty good deal. It's a new brand. The other one, and I can't think of the name off the top of my head, they're carrying that one in the beef, but the chicken broth now is this kitchen ready, 32 ounces, 1 quart, so a great deal. A lot of stores will charge you $2-3 for those. I didn't buy too much else at Dollar Tree. The only other thing I bought was some coin wrappers. I remember I showed these once before, and someone said, you don't get those free at the bank. Yes, you can, but they won't work in my coin wrapping machine. The ones in my coin wrapping machine, they have to be sealed at the bottom, perforated, and they have to be totally round. The ones you get at the bank, you actually have to open up yourselves, and they won't actually fit into the little coin holders there. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and put that down. The other thing I got was another thing of the chicken broth. Only got 2 people so far. Hopefully get a few more in the near future. You guys can start asking me some questions if you want. If you haven't seen the vlog for today, I touched on a subject I usually don't talk about, and that was the State of the Union, so politics. As you guys most know, I am a Trump supporter now. I wasn't in years past. I wasn't a big fan of him to start with. But I'm not going to go into real depths about what my exact beliefs are, but I must say, as it pertains to the State of the Union address, I was very impressed with what he had to say. Now, the thing is he going to do a lot of what he has to say? I hope he will. I'm not a political expert, but especially getting the manufacturing jobs back into America, because that is so vitally important. A lot of my friends that live out in the Midwest, and you guys know who you are, I'm not gonna name names here, but they've seen their manufacturing jobs go by the wayside over the years, and I know that's a struggle, because they've gone to other countries, and they're very, very hard to get back, because it is much cheaper labor in a lot of these other countries for the factories. But if we give the right tax breaks, tax incentives to those plants, then we have a good chance of getting those jobs back. And at least in my opinion, better have those jobs. They may not be the highest paying jobs, but at least people are going to be employed. So that's just my little 2 cents there. Murray Moose. Hi, Matt. Hello there yourself. Hey, Matt from JBX 1026 Productions. Looks like my chat window is actually staying open a little bit longer, which is good. I've had issues with that in the past, especially with this phone. You know what? I may have to put the shade up. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and move up a little bit, because the sun is coming in here. So let's go ahead and move the old front-wheel drive sleigh, as Clark Griswold would say. In, what was that? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. There we go. That's a little better. I turned the rear heat on. It's weird the way it works in this van. There are separate controls for the front and rear. The rear of the van actually has its own circulating fan. Not the whole system. The whole system's all in one, but at least back here, there are little vents up in the ceiling. Like, it's way back there. I can't really reach it right now, but it's interesting the way this van works. Go ahead and send me some of your questions. Hit that like button if you like this content. If you don't like it, don't hit the like button. That's okay too. You know what? And it's funny, because last time I talked about this, ever since the last live stream, I talked about constructive criticism. I've gotten some great reviews, a lot of people giving me some good ideas, but I still have those haters out there that just go to say, oh, you're being too weird, you're being too this, you're being too that. You know what? Haters gonna hate, like that song always says. Haters gonna hate, 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 hate. I know. That's about all I know about that song. I don't know much about modern music, guys, believe me. I think the latest music I listen to is maybe early 90s, but I like 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, and even all the way back into the 40s. As a matter of fact, I was playing the 40s Junction on Sirius XM satellite radio before I started this live stream. They have some really interesting music. There's a lot of like big band era stuff. Not going back as far as swing. We're talking like big band. Got some Count Basie there. A few Glenn Miller. They haven't played a lot of Glenn Miller lately. Tommy Dorsey. And I know a lot of you guys out there are probably going like this. Huh? What is he talking about? I learned to appreciate this music when I was in high school, because I was in the choir and we used to play with the band, and when we used to sit in band practice sometimes with them, a lot of that music is what they played. And I did play the clarinet for a short time, though with my dexterity and my upper motor skill problems, I was never that great at it. I could never play it, professionally, even though I would love to. I just don't think it would ever happen. Yeah, you never know. Things can change in the future. Charles Puth, USA, hello. Hi. Murray Moose, do you still have the iMac? No, I actually don't have my iMac anymore. A lot of people have been asking me about that, and I'll recap briefly on why I got rid of it. I originally bought that, it was a 2011 Core i7 iMac to do video editing with, and I attempted to use a few of the programs on there. Final Cut Pro I had iMovie, and I honestly just could not get used to it. It was just a personal thing with me. I still use Windows Movie Maker for the most part. A lot of people find it amazing that I can do all the edits that I do with Windows Movie Maker, but I love it. It's easy to use, and I'm not somebody who really highly edits his videos anyway. It's not necessary. You guys are more interested in the content than all these fancy editing tricks. Charles Puth, USA, do you like Nickelodeon? Absolutely love Nickelodeon. I grew up with Nickelodeon. I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up with, well, you guys may not know this, Eureka's Castle. Clarissa Explains It All was one of my favorite shows, by the way. Roundhouse, a lot of the Snick shows that happened later on, and depending on your age, you may or may not remember those, but I even go back further than that. There was a show back in the late 70s, and really I think it started in 79 and ended in like 1989 or 90, called You Can't Do That on Television, and that was one of my favorite shows. So if you guys remember that, let me know. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this real quick. One of the guys that was on the You Can't Do That on Television, which actually was a Canadian show, believe it or not, it was filmed in Ottawa, Ontario. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook and YouTube. Douglas Ptolemy, I may not be pronouncing that right, but he played the character Dougie on that show for years. So if you actually see this live stream, I hope you don't mind me mentioning that to everybody. But yeah, I remember that, and I have some fond memories of Nickelodeon. I was, back in the day, in the audience. I never got on stage, but I was in the audience for a taping of Double Dare with Mark Summers. I did go to Nickelodeon Studios. I did participate in, it's terrible, I can't even remember the name of the show anymore. It was something like Look Us Up or something. Anyway, I was in an episode of it, and I can't find it. I don't know if it even exists anymore. I'm sure they might play it every once in a while on Nicktoons or something, or whatever the Nick Live channel is now. But yeah, I have very, very fond memories of Nickelodeon. I actually met quite a few people there. I know Mark Summers. There was another show back in the early 90s called Salute Your Shorts, and I knew a couple of the people that were in that show too, so good times. I love Nickelodeon. Now that I'm older, the only thing I watch on there is Alvin and the Chipmunks, because that was another big show that I loved back in the 80s. And yes, for you older guys out there, I do love I love anything Alvin and the Chipmunks, the 60s cartoon, the 80s cartoon, and even the modern one, though I think the new one suffers a little bit with the writing, but the animation's good. I'll have to say that. All right, I'm rambling on here. Go ahead and send me your questions, please. Save me from myself here. I need to stop talking for a minute. And you know what? I totally forgot to bring anything to drink. Oh, what did that say? Charlie Puth, do you like America's Funniest Home Videos? Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time. I remember watching it with Bob Saget back in the day. And then here's one that before Tom Bergeron took over, there was a few, one or two seasons with Daisy Fuentes. I even remember those back in the day. We're talking like late 90s, early 2000s there. But I watched my share of TV, believe me. That's how a lot of this happened. That didn't happen overnight. That was a lot of TV watching. But yes, I don't watch as much TV anymore. Murray Moose, do you think that the Alvin and the Chipmunks look a bit... I lost it there. Too much, too human, and not enough like chipmunks? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, the very first time I showed my mother the new series, she's like, "Those are the chipmunks? They look like kids." Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they do look a little too much like humans, but you know, the show to me is so nostalgic that they could look like skunks and I would still probably watch it, to be honest with you. And it's not so much the way they look, it's just remembering that portion of my life from my childhood that I loved. One of the only cartoons that I ever really liked as a kid. I used to watch some of the Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons, the Jetsons on occasion. I wasn't really like a Flintstones fan, but Alvin and the Chipmunks was the only cartoon that I really liked from the 80s. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that of the way I related to Theodore, even though I wasn't short, you know, just being a chubby kid. I love the way they had the contrast between Alvin being the jock, the real cool kid, Simon being the brains, and Theodore being that cute, naive kid that just loved to eat. I was probably more of a combination of Simon and Theodore than just Theodore. Alvin, no, I have nothing like Alvin. I don't know, maybe now, maybe when I lose some more weight, I'll become more athletic and I could be a little bit more like Alvin, right? Michael Schaffenberg, wish we had more TV shows. What did he say? I wish we had more of the TV shows back on. Yeah, this like the stuff we used to have in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, a lot of the modern stuff is just garbage. That's what it is. It is just plain garbage. I remember we're just watching this new show, The Detour, which I found kind of funny, but it is extremely raunchy. You would never have had that kind of stuff when I was younger. But yeah, I guess times change. It's called progress, and you got to live with it. You're okay, yeah. So you're about 10 years older than me. Yeah, so you may as well remember a lot of the older Nick shows, and a lot of the game shows too. I don't think we we're going to go to this direction, but it's fun thinking of the past. There was another game show on Nickelodeon called Legends of the Hidden Temple, and that one was really good. I tried to get on that show, but it was very hard because a lot of these shows, Double Dare, all these shows had brother and sister teams, and I'm the only child. Not to mention the fact when it came to Double Dare, it went off in, I remember because I was there for one of the last tapings. It actually, I think, went off, the one with Mark Summers, the last taping was in April of 1993, and you had to be 10 years old to be on the show, and unfortunately I didn't turn 10 until May of 1993, so that's why I was never able to actually participate, though I was in the audience of one of the tapings, and I did actually speak to Mark Summers, which is pretty cool. I'd actually like to meet him one day. He's a really interesting person from what I understand. He actually suffers from OCD a lot. May 5th. Okay, we got another May birthday there. A lot of May birthdays for some reason. I don't know why that is. A lot of people, I guess, born in the springtime. I kind of know why it is, but I'm not going to say it here. Oh man, we're just having fun today. What time is it? Let me see. I think it is. My radio's being a little on the slow side. And it's 41 degrees before anybody asks me. It's a little after 5. So we got some more time. 5:04. Thank you. Yeah. Good times. We're up to 6 watchers, 5 likes. Come on, click that like button if you're here. Please help me out a little bit. Trying to get up to those 5,000 subscribers. I want to hit that mark. Ooh, cold up there. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, let's see. I wish we had some more people. We're up to 6 watchers. Let's see if we can get up to 7 soon. I realize that, you know, it's hard, you know, different times of the day, but we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do a live stream at least once a week. At least give that a try from now on. I think you guys really enjoy these. The feedback I've gotten has been very, very positive with the live streams. Yeah, I mean, other than that, the length of them may vary. I may actually cut this one a little short if we don't get a few more watchers, and maybe we'll try another one another day. A lot of stuff with YouTube is just trial and error, I've noticed, and that's the best thing. The best thing you can do is try. If you don't try, you're not going to succeed. You may fail. You may fall flat on your face. And believe me, I've fallen flat on my face a time or two in my life, and you know, there are things that I've been embarrassed that I've said I've tried, you know, different schemes. I don't know, schemes aren't the right word. Different opportunities that I've tried in life that just have not worked out. And you know what happens when you fall on your face? You just brush yourself off, get up on that horse, and you try again. Michael said, I like a lot of your computer finds that you get. Yeah, I'm going to try to do some more videos. Matter of fact, I showed one of the HP towers I picked up yesterday in the vlog. So if you guys haven't checked the vlog out, make sure you watch that. After the live stream, though. Please watch this first. I ordered some hard drives for that computer and a few other ones. I found some good deals on eBay. I like to sit with about, yes, the HP. I like to sit right around 640 gigabytes for most computers. I've noticed that's kind of the sweet spot, and I found a lot of 3 of them, and I think they were $40. I bought 2 of them for $30. So basically for $70, I'm going to get 5 hard drives, and that's a great deal. I can put them in any of the computers that I have. You have a 50, was that a 500? I think you probably meant to say a 500 gig hard drive in yours. Murray Moose. Oh, yeah, you're talking about that Asus that I got a while back. I've not found another computer like that. That was my best score to date. For those of you who haven't seen that, back, I don't know, about a year ago, at this thrift store, believe it or not, I found a Asus desktop with a 4th gen Core i7. I think it was a 4760 or 4770 in that. I have to go look back at the video. I had that for a while. It had 16 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte hard drive, a few other goodies. I wound up selling that, though. I didn't need another computer. I already had a Core i7. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about selling my HP A8 computer that I use as a backup, because in my room, I have my Dell XPS 8700, the 4th gen Core i7. I have my HP Media Center system, which is a octa-core AMD system. It's one of those F-series processors. I don't remember the exact model off the top of my head. That one's got an SSD in it, just like my main systems. And they both have the 250 gigabyte Crucial MX200 SSDs. And I swear by Crucial. I like Crucial memory, and I like the Crucial solid-state hard drives. For the most part, all their stuff is made here in America, and I've never had a problem with their products. So getting back, I have that, and I have my 2 vintage systems, but I want to put my laptop out. I bought a Lenovo A12 AMD laptop about 6 months ago, and I have no room for it, so I think I'm going to sell my A8 desktop and go put the HP out there. Let me know what you guys think. I want to do that because I have a lot of projects I want to use that laptop for, and I literally do not have a spot in my room for another laptop. I have a computer on pretty much every desk I have in my room, so got to do some rearranging. I do have to clean out my closets too. I would not show you guys my closet right now. My walk-in closet is a disaster, and I try so hard to keep that thing clean, and it just inevitably gets dirty, because when you buy stuff at thrift stores a lot, you run out of storage space. And I've actually started using the storage over the garage, which you actually enter in through our second bedroom. A lot of my stuff is in there now, which is not making my mother very happy, but thank you, Mom. I know you're going to see this. She's allowing me to do that, and I'm so grateful, because without that extra space, I wouldn't have any room to walk in my room, literally. I mean, everything would be all strewn all over the floor. I'd probably have to do a maze and make a path to my bed. So thank you very much for letting me do that. My entire house would probably fit in your bedroom, Murray Moose. Oh, tell me about it. I'm gonna tell you something. Until we moved here, my bedroom, when I lived in New York for the first year of my life, was a room that was about 8 by 8. It was like a closet. And when I first moved into this house with my parents, I looked at that room and I said, what am I going to do with all that space? I have never had that much space in my life. And I was even nervous because, you know, I liked the coziness of my little room when we lived in New York. And it took me a few months to get used to it. But after that, I was thrilled to have all that space. Heck, I could have all these computers set up. I have my own workstation set up there. So, you know what? Don't be afraid of change. Change is not a bad thing normally. As human beings, we resist change. And you can look up almost any philosopher, any wise man out there, and they'll tell you that we always resist change. I don't like change. To this day, I don't. I resist it. But when great things happen is when I let myself get out there and not be, what's a good word for this, and not be afraid to venture out and try new things. I'm a very introverted person by nature, and I like to spend a lot of time indoors. I'm not agoraphobic. No, don't worry about that. But I could be if I didn't push myself. So, moral of this story is, if you're a kind of introverted person, get yourself out there. I mean, just don't be afraid to do it. Again, if you fall flat on your face, you fall flat on your face. You know, there's always other opportunities out there. I mean, I look at people that came from nothing. Kid Behind a Camera is a great example of this. I don't always agree with those kind of videos. I think that kind of sensationalism can be in poor taste. But I respect him for the fact that he brought his family up out of literally squalor. They had nothing growing up. Now he supports himself, his wife, his family, or his girlfriend. I'm not even sure if they're married, but you know, his girlfriend, the rest of his family can live a nice, comfortable life because of what he did, because he was not afraid to get out there and just do it. I mean, that's the key to life, is just to live it. And you know, there are times that I forget that, and I don't want to ever forget that again. So I'll digress right now. We're up to 9 watchers. We have 6 likes. Go ahead and click that like button. I'm going to keep asking, keep pounding you guys. Please click that like button. I'm enjoying your walking vlogs. I like to see the surrounding areas you live in. And this is Murray Moose, by the way. I live in the UK. It's nice to see real America. That is awesome. I really love all my UK subscribers. I want to get over there so bad. I know a lot of you guys say it's so pretty. I want to see London, of course, but I really like to see the English countryside. Big fan of a lot of the British comedies out there. I also loved Downton Abbey, which really was a surprise, I guess, when they brought it over here to America. Great drama. Father Brown, I'm starting to watch right now. Another great show. I'm thinking about getting what they call Acorn TV, which allows you, for those of you that don't know what that is, to allow you to watch the British shows here in America, pretty much all of them. Another one I started watching is Fake Britain with Matthew Albright, I think his name is, and another guy did it too named Dominic, but the ones I've been seeing are pretty much with the other guy. There's another one where Can't Pay Will Take It Away. A lot of the, I guess you call reality shows, but yeah, a lot of these shows I love. Do I have Facebook? I'd like to reach out and put a card reader might be. Yes, I do. I do have Facebook. You can just look me up, Matthew. Basically Roy, R-O-Y. Yeah, you can check me out on Facebook. You'll see a picture of, so you know it's me, you'll see a picture of my orange cat, the one that is passed away, and I am going to change that. I've been kind of lazy when it comes to that. That was my cat Simon, who unfortunately we had to put down about a year ago. It was very sad. He was a beloved family pet. He was such a sweet cat. But I digress once again. We're up to 9 watchers, still 6 likes. That's okay. Other than that, you guys can start asking me some more questions. I may need to eat something here in just a minute. I think my blood sugar's starting to dip, though I did have oatmeal about an hour ago, so I'll probably hold off and wait till I get home. Gonna have some of that Brunswick stew about 8 o'clock tonight. Man, that is so good. I'm so glad that Dad looked up that recipe, and he doesn't do a lot of cooking much anymore. I mean, he did years ago when my mother worked, but ever since, Mom's retired, she does a lot of the cooking, or I do it. So I think it's good for him to kind of venture out. And it was an easy recipe too. You guys can look up that video if you want, but it's got okra in it, and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it just tastes so good. It's got onions, peppers, okra, corn with pepper in it, southern style corn, I think they call it, lima beans. It's got pork barbecue, shredded chicken, chicken bouillon, and a few other spices. I know I'm not remembering everything here, but basically you cook it in a slow cooker for about 6.5 hours on high. Oh, delicious. Best stew / soup I've ever had, though. With the way we make it, it's usually more of a soup, because Brunswick stew is generally supposed to be very thick like a stew, but to make it go further, we usually thin it out a little bit with some more chicken broth. I lost a couple of watchers here, but at least we're up 7. Back up to 8. All right, that's totally awesome. My girlfriend and I enjoy seeing the kitties. Murray Moose. Matt, I sent you an ad. Awesome. Okay, I'll check that out later. Once I get home and get on Facebook. I can't really multitask right now. Like I said, I think in the future I'm going to bring another cell phone, or at the very least a tablet that I can hook up to Wi-Fi. That way, again, I can have 2 devices, one in my hand. To if you say, "Oh, Matt, you ever heard of this and this?" and I can go ahead and look it up at the same time. So, just something to think about for the future. I'm actually getting pretty cold right now. It is in the 40s, and I still have my jacket on, believe it or not. So when I get really cold, I just go ahead and go like this to get my hands warm. Awesome. Oh, wow. And it's kind of getting to the sunset at this point. I went back into the thrift store hoping they put some more electronics out, but alas, that was not to be today. They're really busy in there, though. I give them a lot of credit, because especially this time of year, as winter is dwindling down and people start their spring cleaning, they get a lot of donations. And that back room of theirs they had boxes this past weekend up to the ceiling. I literally, I am not kidding. People around here tend to spring clean a little bit early. I haven't done spring cleaning in years. I mean, I clean my room throughout the year, like I do dusting. I don't do windows. I would never show you guys. My windows are probably disgusting. I never clean my windows. And I know I should. And, I tell a lie. I do on occasion, maybe twice a year or so. But other than that, I just can't be bothered. The Lazy Fisher Keeper? Oh, that's an interesting name. I like that. I have a good friend of ours we talked to the other day who is a huge fisherman. He loves doing fishing. Matter of fact, this year, because he's in New York, this time of year, he ice fishes. And I remember years ago, when I was younger, we used to ice fish with him at our lake, and we actually used to drive the vehicles right on the lake, because the ice, especially in the January, February, this time of year there, had to have been about a foot thick, and that was more than enough to support a vehicle. I'll never forget the first time we did it. We went on the ice. We had a lot of fun. Went back home, and I told my mother everything back then, guys. I kept nothing from her. And when I told her that we actually drove the car on the ice, she had a face like this. I thought she was going to lose it. She got so upset at my father, and I thought my father was going to tan my hide for telling. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I mean, I didn't think she would go ballistic like that, and she did, but my dad's like, don't worry about it. She didn't understand that, it was perfectly safe, but I hope she doesn't mind me telling that story. She'll probably see this later and get on my case for it, but it is what it is. It's funny because as a family, we all have our little quirks and short tempers, and I have my own temper that really gets the best of me at times. Oh, sorry. I know I should have brought something to drink, but I really wasn't planning on doing this. And that's why I like doing these live streams. I literally like doing these when anybody could be here. And I might plan one in the future, but you know what? My channel is raw, unscripted, and without reason sometimes. I don't know. I just felt like doing this today, and I thought you guys maybe would enjoy it. See what else we can talk about. Have you ever played World of Warships? I'm not sure what that is. I've heard of World of Warcraft. I never played that. I used to play... I haven't played the World of Warcraft. I used to play Warcraft 2 and 3 back in the Windows 95, 98 days. Oh, I used to play that a lot. And StarCraft. Used to play StarCraft even more. That was my favorite out of the genre, was StarCraft. Blizzard Entertainment. Can't go wrong with your Blizzard Entertainment. I used to play StarCraft on two computers, on a compact Presario 9546 we had a Pentium 100 megahertz. I'm trying to think what that was. That was a first gen Pentium. 32 megabytes of RAM. Originally had 8. We had it upgraded to 32 gigabytes when we moved here. That was our main computer until about the year 2000. That was slow by the end. And then when we got the new computer, of course, it was too fast to run StarCraft, so kept the compact for a while until the hard drive went, and then I found myself a Packard Bell Legend. And I have no idea what model. I can just tell you it was a Legend, probably from the mid-90s, about the same time as the compact Presario 9546 was. And that computer lasted all of 2 months. I am not a big Packard Bell fan, and I know a lot of people out there are. Billy Core is a huge collector of Packard Bell computers. That's great. I found them very buggy and, for the most part, very, very poorly made, in my opinion. Do I dabble in Linux, the lazy fisher keeper? I have, on occasion. Basically, I've used a little Linux Mint. I like Ubuntu Linux. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea when it comes to Linux. It's got a lot of bloatware in it, but I do like the way it works. Linux Mint, and used to use a few versions of Red Hat Linux on some old DOS systems that I had. We're talking AMD K6 era days. So yeah, a little bit. It's an Murray Moose, an online game using WW1, WW2 battleships, cruisers and destroyers. YouTube channel. What did that say? Is used me to. Lots of fun. Yeah. Okay, cool. I might give it a try. I for those of you that don't know, I'm not a big gamer except for retro games. As a matter of fact, I found one of my favorite games from the DOS era the other day, the full trilogy of Jill of the Jungle. There were 3 versions of that, and I actually found them on archive.org. I was able to transfer them over to my DOS system using a good old floppy disk. It would fit on the floppy disk, zipped. To unzip them when I bring them over to my Dell XPS D233, which is a Pentium 2 system, I actually go into Windows 3.1, and I have a version of WinZip, an old version on there, and I'm able to unzip those into the file I need it to be, the directory in DOS. There are other ways to do it, but that's just the easiest way I've found. This is Stephen Barber. I just happened to look on YouTube. I never get a notification I was messing with my Lexmark printer. Oh yeah. I never mess with Lexmark printers, except back in the 90s. They had some really good ones. They used to be bundled with the IBM Aptivas. I'll never forget that. The reason you don't get notifications is I don't send them out. I do these live streams spur of the moment, just the way I like it. As the name of this live stream is, I gotta be me. Lazy fish keeper. Only real computers have floppy drives. Yes, and I remember who said that too. UXW Bill. I remember that, though, to be honest with you, only 2 of my computers have floppy drives at the moment. But in all honesty, I do have an external USB drive, a couple of those that I'll plug into my modern computers. So technically, all my computers have them. Smoke test, yeah. You guys are all UXW Bill fans. He is so funny. He doesn't even try to be. He's just funny without being funny. He's kind of like a Bob Newhart deadpan comic. You have to really, really respect that. He's got that Midwestern charm that just everybody seems to like. Yeah. Oh, UXW Bill, very, very intelligent, self-taught. If you have never watched any of his videos, just type in UXW Bill, and he's a variety channel just like me. He does a lot of computer videos, does a lot of cooking related videos, and this is not a plug for UXW Bill's channel. In other words, he's not sending me money to do this. I just really like his content, to be honest with you. The thinking man humor, exactly. Red Green comes to mind. The Red Green show from Canada back on PBS back in the day, if you guys remember that. If you don't, it was a show that these guys did. They were at the Possum Lodge. It was actually filmed, I think, in Toronto. Steve Smith was the host. And he did all these weird things. He was kind of like the Canadian redneck of the day. And a lot of stuff he did with duct tape. Everything was with duct tape. If it's broken, use duct tape to fix it. Yep. Lace Fishkeeper remembers that. A very, very funny show. Not to be confused with Steve Smith from American Dad. His real name is Steve Smith, the gentleman. And he's actually on tour again. I heard he's coming to America this year. I think it's called the I'm Not Dead Tour or something like that. You guys can look it up, the Red Green show. Again, not a plug specifically for the show. I'm not getting paid to do this, but I want to just say that I like the show. We're up to 12 watchers. Awesome. I'll keep this going for a while. I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys. I love doing these live streams. I tell you, I love my regular YouTube vlogs. I'll do my vlogs, but I love being able to interact with you guys. And as time goes on, hopefully I'll be able to afford better equipment so you guys can have more interaction with me. I'd love to be able to have someone else here to do it. I've asked Mom and Dad, but they're not really interested in doing it. So I'm thinking my buddy Jeff. Jeff, if you see this video, let me know if this is something you'd be interested in doing. I would love to do a live stream with another person. I just think it would add some more flair to an already awesome video. I hate to pat myself on the back, but gonna do it anyway. No more questions yet. What in the world was that? I think that's the wind. It's here like crackling on the outside. That's weird. I don't know what the heck that was. Bruce, have you ever watched Techmon? Yes, I do. Yeah, I have watched a lot of his videos. The one I really liked he did was Tapes, Not As Bad As You Remember. That was a video that I was really fascinated by. And I'm not going to say too much about it. If you want to see it, watch his channel. Cassette Tapes, Not As Bad As You Remember. Thank you. Stephen Barber, maybe help me out. I want to do video gaming with the Grand Theft Auto 5 Xbox 360. I want to capture it using my computer. What card should I use to record it? I don't do a lot of video capturing myself. I don't think he'll mind if I give his name out, but YouTube user Eric Brunhammer and I are very good friends. And he has dabbled with capture cards, so you may want to ask him that question. Go ahead and again, I don't think he'll mind it if you contact him, because I don't know a lot about video capture myself, and I don't want to give you any false or bad information. So for that, I'm going to refer that question to Eric Brunhammer there. NWS Storm Chaser. If I get a Windows 2000 system, how can I get games without using my internet? Because I've heard it's unsafe to use that OS. Yes and no, if you're careful about it. I mean, you can hook it up to the internet just to download games, as long as you have good antivirus on there, and then just disconnect it from the internet once you've installed them. There are actually service packs, not unofficial service packs for Windows 2000. I think it's the unofficial service pack 4 that I downloaded, which adds a little bit more protection. Another way to get games on a Windows 2000 computer is the way I do it, through a floppy disk or a flash drive. Probably easier with a floppy disk because you can actually download games from archive.org. Most of the games will fit zipped on a disk, so basically you just get yourself a USB floppy drive, plug it into your main rig, copy the games onto that disk, and then put it in the floppy drive of your Windows 2000 computer. You can go back. I actually described how I did that before, maybe about 10 minutes ago in this video. Another way to do it would be burning the games to a CD-ROM, because I'm assuming your Windows 2000 computer is going to have at least a regular rudimentary CD-ROM. You could actually get your games together, download them from the internet, burn them onto a CD-ROM, and then copy them that way. So there are a lot of ways to do it safely. If you want more information on that, you can actually do Google search. How to transfer games from to a Windows 2000 computer without using the internet, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of documentation on that. And for whatever reason, your guys' comments are disappearing again. Lazy Fisher Keeper. So how did you get stuck in a snowstorm? Yeah, I know. I guess that that title was a little like clickbait. I apologize for that. It was basically, I was out in the morning. It was really snowing bad. The roads were just starting to get slippery, so I was almost afraid I was going to slip. So I took it really easy going home, but I was okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I should have worded that differently. But yeah, it was technically a snowstorm. We did get just a light dusting of snow. They had said we were going to get a half an inch, but we ended up just getting a dusting on that one. We are up to 10 watchers, 8 likes. Click that like button, please. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up there. And it's funny, it shows as a thumbs up on my screen here. We're up to 9. Awesome. 9 watchers, 9 thumbs up. Awesome. My throat is really starting to get scratchy all of a sudden. So I could do about an hour of this before I start to lose my voice. I don't know how these radio talk show hosts do it, that do these 2-3 hour shows. They must get laryngitis on a regular basis. Murray Moose, do the thrift stores have many CD-ROM games for sale? It depends. The CHKD here, almost never. When they get them in, they go really quickly, and they rarely ever get them in. The one around here that does is called Lifeline Thrift Store, and that's in the other part of my town. They have a lot of those games in, and I go through them once in a while, but I just don't have room to buy them. If I see something really cool, like I bought about a month ago, I bought the original Rayman there for like $2. If I see something like that, or maybe Earthworm Jim, Bug, like a Commander Keen game, but the stuff from like the late 90s, early 2000s just doesn't really hold any interest for me, and there really isn't a lot of value there. You can make a good living, so I've heard, buying and reselling just these vintage computer games. As a matter of fact, I know a gentleman on eBay that does just that. He's retired, and he actually makes his living as a supplement to his retirement by buying vintage video games, not just computer games, but PlayStation games and Xbox games from thrift stores, and selling them on eBay. He actually has a shop, and apparently he makes a pretty good living doing that. George Blakely III, man, I don't think I've seen you in one of my live streams. That's awesome that you made it. Enjoying the live stream, Matt. Like when you're doing the broadcast. Yeah, I enjoy doing it this way too. I really, really do. NWS Storm Chaser, how are your parents doing? They're doing very well. Dad loved cooking his Brunswick stew. He's home resting right now. I think his back was starting to bother him. Mom is upstairs, from what I understand, fast asleep. Probably get an interruption from one of them calling me, wondering, where I am. But that's just parents. That's the way they are. Who is this? Jake RK. You remember me? Haven't commented in a while. I don't. I apologize. I don't remember you specifically. But I'm glad you're back. If you, like I say, you enjoy my content, absolutely. I have a lot of subscribers out there. NWS Storm Chaser, what kind of trip are they going on? Not going to be until spring. They're planning on going to Canada to visit my dad's family, his relatives, that are mostly up in Lake Megantic, I think, still. That's that, for those of you that don't know, that's that town that was decimated by the train derailment a few years back. It's been in the news again because those guys are just being tried, and they were found innocent, which kind of got me upset because that decimated my family's hometown. Luckily, none of my family was hurt physically, but financially, it was another matter. But I don't want to get into that. That's just kind of a downer at this point. 11 watchers, 9 subscribers. And you have a Storm Chaser. Sweet, I always wanted to go to Canada. You live in Iowa. It's not too far. I've been to Canada many times as a kid. Never to the English-speaking section because my father's French-Canadian. It was always to Quebec. So I've been to Montreal. I've been to the Lake Megantic. I've been to Sherbrooke, which is where my grandparents lived for many years before they passed away, my dad's parents. And I've been to Quebec City, which was really beautiful. Wow. 40s today and 19 tomorrow. Sounds like you guys in Iowa, and that was the NWS Storm Chaser, have the kind of fluctuations we do here in temperatures. So is French... I couldn't read that, I'm sorry. The Lazy Fish Keeper, is French my second language? No. I never did learn French. French is my father's first language, actually. English is his second language. Gotta learn to spell. Don't worry about it. I just chalk it up to autocorrect when I make a mistake. It happens to the best of us. Sorry, my throat is very dry. Snow this weekend. I'm over the snow at this point. I really do not need to see any more snow. If I don't see any more snow this year, I'll be happy. And I can't believe that's coming out of my mouth because I'm the first one to say I absolutely love snow. And I do. I love it. But we've seen enough of it this year to where, I don't know, it's just getting old. I hate having to have my heater on. You remember my dad was from Canada? Yeah, he was actually born there. I think he lived there the first 5 years of his life, something like that. No, I did not see the lunar event. A good friend of mine did, though. Pam was up in Pennsylvania. She put a picture of it, so I did get to at least see the picture. Fortnight. 2 weeks. Yes, I know a fortnight is 2 weeks. Somebody who's into the English culture as much as I am, of course, has got to know that. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, thank you very much. NWS Storm Chaser said he stays and enjoys the awesome content. I watch a lot of YouTube myself when it's the winter time. I do get out. On occasion, like I do the walks. I did not walk today, though, but I am going to get my 10,000 steps in, which is awesome. So even though I didn't officially do a cardio exercise today, I did get my 10,000 steps in. Stephen Barber is done with winter at this point. I want warm weather. How's your van, Matt? Doing very well. I'm actually sitting in it right now. I do have an issue in the mornings, and I think it has to do with the type of oil filter. We talked about this before. Then my lifters tick when I first started, but once it warms up, it's okay. Right now I have an STP oil filter in there, and I am going to switch to a much better brand next time. Probably a Fram. If you have any other recommendations out there, please let me know. But what happens is it doesn't have a check valve, so the oil actually seeps all the way down into the filter. So when I start the engine in the morning, there's not enough oil pressure to keep the lifters lubricated, and they make a little bit of the tapping noise that lifters tend to do. But I did put in Prolong in here, so it's not going to do any damage, so I'm not worried about that. Other than that, the van's perfect. I actually have 107,989 miles, so almost 108,000 miles on this van. And that was almost made me not want to get it, because I thought that was a lot of mileage. But I talked to a lot of people before I bought this van, and they told me the Chrysler Town & Countries are good for 300,000 plus miles. And so as soon as I heard that, I was like, you know what, I like the van. The person took really good care of this van, which you will see once I finally get around to doing the review of it. So I was okay with it then. And Great Bridge Auto Sales is where I purchased this, and if you guys are looking for a vehicle, please hit them up. The salesman was great. They were a little slow on doing a couple of repairs, but that wasn't their fault. The trim work took about 2 months to get done, but that was because they had to have an outside source come in and do it. But once it got done, I was so pleased with the job. I thought he was just going to attach it. I had a piece of plastic on the fender wall and back that had separated and pulled apart, and I said, look, I don't care about it looking perfect, just make sure he can melt it back together, which he did. But I didn't know this. He repainted it, and you can't even tell there was ever a problem there. Lazy Fish Keeper, gotta go and cook dinner. All right, right on. You gotta eat when you gotta eat, and that's important. I will see you hopefully at the next live stream. We're up to 11 watchers. We're down to 10 now, so that's okay. Got 11 likes though, 11 thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Gonna open my door for a minute here. I think the carbon monoxide's building up in here. I need to get some fresh air coming into here. I think that's why I'm starting to cough. There we go. I gotta circulate the air in here a little bit. Ugh. I'm gonna lock the door though, because it's gonna be nighttime. Isn't that cool? The little LED strip on here. I love the little touches that Chrysler did on this van. They did a good job. You know what? I gotta say that I'm not usually a fan of most modern vehicles, but this Town & Country has been a really good van for me. And I've always liked my older vehicles. I do miss my Lincoln Town Car on occasion. I really like that car too. That was very reliable with the 4.6 liter V8, another bulletproof engine, and I'm hoping that the 4 liter V6 that's in this van is going to be as reliable. I've heard mixed reviews on this engine, but I do my research before I buy vehicles. Such a nice van. My favorite SUV is the 4Runner. I think that was Stephen Barber. Yeah, I like the 4Runner myself. The only reason I don't buy one is because my father can work on American-made vehicles. So if I was to buy a Toyota, a Honda, any of the Japanese cars, or even any of the German vehicles, he would never be able to work on it. So I said to myself a long time ago, I said, you know what? There are plenty of American-made vehicles I can choose from. I'll stick with that, and I'll have my dad work on them, because that's what he does, and he doesn't mind it. There are certain things, though, now that he doesn't do anymore. As he's getting older, he can't go under the cowling or under the dash. If something needs to be fixed there, I'll usually handle that myself. Let me see. No more people. 10 Tech Road. Don't eat my chicken. I don't really understand that, but okay, I won't eat your chicken. Oh, man. But you know what? It is coming time for me to get home, because it is getting cold and I don't want to actually run the engine in here. I might give it just a few more minutes. Right now we're right at about 58 minutes long, which I think is as long as I've ever done a live stream for. Time really flies when you're having fun. I have time maybe to answer 1 or 2 more questions, so if you guys have them, put them out there for me, please. I have no problem with that. You got about 2 more minutes, so let's go ahead and get the clock running. Be safe, Matt. Have a great night. Can't wait for another vlog, Stephen Barber. Yeah, you will. You will be getting another one of these live streams very shortly. And probably another vlog in a day or two. I may or may not do it tomorrow. We'll just have to see what happens. Jake RK, do you think YouTube could become your full-time job? No. Unless something drastically changes, I do not make enough from YouTube. And despite what people have said by Googling my channel, I do not make near what a lot of things like Social Blade say. But you never know. You never know. It could happen. You guys can help me out with that. I mean, if you guys really love this content, tell your friends. I would love to make YouTube my full-time job. If I could do this, I would give up computers. I'd give up everything. I love doing this. So with your guys' help and maybe a little prayer said, just saying, it's possible. You never know. Well, I'm gonna end this vlog here today. Hope you guys this live stream today. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm getting tired. I'm tired of rambling on here, but you know what? We had a lot of fun. One more, Tom Wild. Hey, Matt, so glad to see you. Looking fantastic. Thank you very much. I know you guys like the shout out, so I'll try to read everything, even if it's not an actual question, and actually put your name out there. Once again, I'm going to end it right here. We ended this live stream with 12 watchers, 12 likes. I love even numbers. That helps my ADD and my obsessive compulsive disorder. So very happy with that. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as I say, after every live stream and every vlog, have a blessed day, everybody. Talk to you later.